All right, so our Facebook Live wasn't working today, so I'm making a video, and so I'll be speaking to the camera, but I have people here in the room. So what I was speaking about is today. So today I woke up, I felt this agitation happening, and like in my energetic body, I just felt irritable and pissed off. And you know, there can be many, many reasons why that was. Many excuses as to why I was pissed, why I felt like did I want to call, like what I want to do. But I think we have so much power in those moments when we don't try to figure it out with the mind, but try to resolve it in our level of energy first and come to our practice. So, as I was telling you, I came to the studio and I did some strong pranayama, and but still felt like a level of like irritability or frustration. And you know, my mind is like thinking there's something wrong with me, I need to fix it, I should be feeling like happy and joyful, I was just peaceful yesterday, why aren't I peaceful right now? So the mind just takes hold and just wants to like run with it. But that's the power of this practice, right? Like our mind wants to run, and we witness a mind, and we choose either to follow the mind or to really stick with the breath and the heart, like just to be like, okay, this is happening, and I could observe this, but I don't have to align to that. And so there was a class going on at noon. So I decided to take a class, and it was a pretty challenging vinyasa class. So I felt like at the end of the class, like just like an exhale, like I just needed like something physically. And what's so interesting is that on this reset today, I was gonna teach like a really, really strong like power kriya, right? To like release energy. But after that shift, kind of what's coming to mind is like a really like softer, like heart-centered kriya to teach. So, yeah. So it's interesting because, again, the mind is always thinking something's wrong. The mind is always thinking that we need to fix something, that we need to be a certain way. That, you know, when, okay, like there was some irritation, like I don't have to react to it, I don't have to resolve it, I don't have to fix it, I don't have to make it different, I just have to let it come in. It will peak and then it will release. It's kind of like that, things come in and then they come out. And if we're reacting all the time, then the peak is a lot bigger. But if we just witness it, step back and observe it and let it fade out, then it's resolved. And then from that place, when it's kind of gone, I can maybe look back and be like, what happened in my morning that triggered that reaction in me, rather than trying to figure it out when I was in the reaction. So that's what I'm working on, is just being with like, it's okay, it will pass, don't panic about it. I'm not losing anything. So it's just funny. Like, it's funny what our minds do. And it's always coming back to the practice, like staying in the practice. And the practice isn't coming to our mats. The practice is in our lives of today, just witnessing that. You know, but my mind is like, I want to make it go away. What can I do to make it go away? Can I eat? Can I drink alcohol? Can I it's like the mind is panicked. And then it's just like the higher self is like, I don't need to do anything because there's nothing wrong. It will pass. So today we're gonna, this kriya that I recently learned, I just love it. It's super, super sweet. And it just creates just a richness. And with these kriyas, I don't like to explain them too much because the experience is really revealed in doing them. Right? The experience is revealed in the doing of them. If we understand on an intellectual level, like, oh, I'm supposed to, then it kind of takes away from really being able to experience something. That's what I found. So, so peace fingers are up, thumb is wrapping around the other fingers. And as we do this kriya, the eyes are closed. And the dharana, or the focus, is right at the heart center. And we're going to chant Shri, Shriye 3 times. And then palms together right in front of the heart. Shri Ishwade 3 times. And we'll get it. So again, in a soft tone. Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Ishwade, Shri Shriye, Shri Shriye,